Hey guys. So on my most recent video which was about queer kid stuff, the channel, basically I made the video because I found out that apparently the channel, despite only having like 13,000 subscribers, is apparently getting attention nationwide. So I decided to make a video about that. And I got the most insane comment ever. Now I've gotten shitty comments before, but this comment is psychotic. Like, this is the most psychotic comment I've ever got. The name of the user is Areum, Ling, Kaiya or something. Now, I didn't know who this user was. I mean, they've got a very, very obscure channel. They've got no subscribers. They've got several videos, though. It's basically a channel dedicated to shitting on conservatives and stuff. And they kept promoting this one person called Stetson Hardwick. So I did a little bit of research, and apparently Stetson Hardwick is a big pedophile apologist. He's a pedophile advocate, defender, apologist, whatever, probably a pedophile himself. And this person is, from what I've gathered, this person is either Stetson Hardwick himself, or the person is a big supporter of Stetson Hardwick because he's got videos on his channel talking about Stetson Hardwick for president and stuff like that. So, and just, again, dedicated to shitting on conservatives. So I'm going to go through this comment and address each point by point, because this person left 16 bullet points. So I don't know if this person, again, I don't know if this person is just a completely separate person, or if this is actually Stetson Hardwick himself. But apparently, from some of the responses that he's gotten, he's always telling people to get an education and stuff like that. So we're going to go through this point by point. Number one, the truth is never creepy. Alright, right off the bat, what are you talking about? What truth? What truth are you talking about? I don't really know much about Stetson Hardwick other than the little bit I've been able to find out. By truth, do you mean... What do you mean by the truth? I don't know what that is. What truth are you talking about? What, the truth of people just being creepy weirdos? the truth about what is this about the whole pedophilia thing? Because again, I know Stetson Hardwick is a big pedophile supporter, defender, whatever. Is that the truth you're talking about? And plus, the truth, or whatever truth that you're talking about, is subjective, okay? Because the truth, okay, so, people will say all the time, oh, true, you know, or truth, or something like that, or this is the truth. When a lot of the times the truth is subjective, okay? It's the truth that the sky is blue, it's the truth that the grass is green, but the truth that you're subscribing to is not necessarily everybody else's truth. And besides, I don't know what you keep mentioning truth. I don't know what truth you're talking about. The truth of what exactly? The truth of humanity or whatever? Number two, people's pronouns are not bullshit. Show respect to humanity in their pronouns. Yeah, people's pronouns are, in fact, bullshit. At least with the whole genderqueer, gender fluid, non-binary stuff. There's no scientific evidence or consensus for there being more than two genders. And until we get some substantial evidence otherwise, I'm going to continue to call it bullshit. So, and I have plenty of respect for humanity. I think it's you are the one that has no respect for humanity, and I'll get into that in a minute. Number three, you are not a liberal, you are a conservative. I never claimed to be a liberal. I'm not a conservative either. I think I said there are some positions that I am more liberal on. There are definitely, you know, topics that I am more conservative on, but I mean, if anything, I would describe myself as a libertarian. I mean, basically, I don't really give a shit what you do, as long as you're not breaking any laws or not harming anyone else or yourself. Mostly not, I mean, basically, if you're not breaking any laws or doing anything illegal or you're not harming anyone else, then whatever. I don't give a fuck what you do. You can even identify as non-binary. I don't give a fuck. If people want to identify as non-binary, that's fine. I just don't necessarily buy it. I don't buy that there's more than two genders, because there's a severe lack of evidence for it. So, yeah. Number four, you just call people's pronouns bullshit and the truth about gender bullshit. Typical conservative behavior. pretty much already addressed this. You know, just yeah, I'm not gonna get into that. I pretty much that was basically what number 2 was. Number 5, the truth has no restriction or form of censorship. Uh, I I don't even know what you're meaning by that. The truth has no restriction or form of censorship. The truth. Again, what truth are you talking about? What, humanity has no restriction or form of censorship? I have no idea what you're fucking talking about, dude. Number 6, there's more than 2 genders. Not gonna get into that again. There's no backing in science to support that whatsoever. So I'm not gonna even get into that again. Number 7, age never existed, and human beings can learn whatever they want to learn. Human beings deserve to know the truth. Again, with this truth. Okay, what truth are you talking about? What is the truth, the universal truth that you are referring to? Human beings can learn whatever they want to learn. That is correct. Human beings, you know, when they are old enough, they can, you know, go out and attain any knowledge that they want to and learn anything that they want, you know, and gain experience and stuff like that. Age never existed. Oh, yes, age has never existed. That's right. You know, that's why, you know, when we come out of the womb, you know, we look exactly the way we do when we come out of the womb as we do when we die. You know, we we remain, you know, hairless and everything. We remain, you know, bald and everything. We remain, you know, pretty small. You know, it's not like people go through like 4 or 5 stages. You know, they talk about human psychology. It's not like they go through like 4 or 5 stages of human life. You know, it's not like people go through this phase called puberty where they like start, you know, growing facial hair and like, you know, and growing, you know, hair all over the body. It's not like people, you know, like get, you know, grow taller and grow in size and everything. It's not like people, you know, when they're old enough, they can, you know, go drive a car, get a job, get an education, go to college. They can drink or smoke legally. You know, it's not like people, you know, when they grow up, they form their own personality and they become, you know, their own unique individual. It's not like people form their own ideas on things or have their own original thoughts on things. You know, it's not like people learn how to, you know, do things like read and write and decipher things and, you know, learn to do all sorts of things. Yeah, age doesn't exist, guys. Age doesn't exist. Age and it doesn't exist. Yeah. We're all the same age, apparently, but age doesn't exist, so. Number 8, you don't understand because you are closed-minded and a conservative and the truth is not in you. Again, with that universal truth thing, I have no idea what you're talking about. Closed-minded and a conservative, okay, whatever, dude. The job of an education belongs to the individual, not parents. So are you saying that people should have no guidance? That people should have no guidance from parents, or at least like parental figures, or teachers, or whatever else? They should have no guidance. They should just learn things from whatever. Okay. The job of teaching belongs to those who knows the truth. Again, this truth. What are you talking about? What truth are you referring to, dude? And wants to teach. Do you realize how psychotic you sound? I mean, do you realize how crazy you sound, dude? Like, you literally sound like a religious fanatic. Like, you sound like one of those religious fanatics that's talking about, like, I believe they say stuff like the truth or like the for the, you know, the good of mankind, stuff like that. You sound like one of these, you know, crazy, rambling, overly religious nutbags. You literally sound like a psychopath right now. Human beings are not weirdos, and humanity can comprehend sex and gender. Okay, humanity. When people reach a certain age, yes, they can begin to comprehend things like sex and gender. Not children who are not preschoolers who are 3, 4, 5 years old. Not children who are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. Okay, they can't. You know, children can't even begin to comprehend things like that. They're just learning how to. They're just then learning how to fucking do things like write and read and do basic arithmetic and stuff like that. They can't even comprehend that type of thing, those types of topics like sexuality and gender and stuff like that. They shouldn't have to. They're fucking kids. You know, it's so I don't understand people like you. You people are fucking. You are a weirdo, okay? Lindsay from Queer Kid Stuff is a weirdo, and you are a weirdo as well. I know this is kind of ad hominem stuff, but I really don't care at this point. You know, people like you almost want to like sexualize children, you know, in some weird way. You want them to know about sexuality and gender and stuff like that. It's fucking weird. Like, why do you want to expose little kids to things like that when they can't even begin to comprehend things like this or understand things like this? They don't need to be understanding things like that at that young of an age. You can explain it to them till you're blue in the face, and they still won't actually have a comprehension of what you're talking about, dude. You're crazy. And anything they want to comprehend, that is their choice and their human right. Again, children, you know, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, they can't comprehend stuff like this. Again, you can tell them things, but they're not actually going to understand or comprehend things. It's beyond unless they're just a really, really, really intelligent, like, kid, just a really intelligent mind, and even then, they won't be able to comprehend this stuff. They're fucking kids. Number 11, consent never existed. Consent never existed. Dude, at this point, you really just sound like a predator. Like, you really sound like just a fucking psychopathic, sociopathic predator. You realize that? Consent never existed, and pedophiles never existed, so there is nothing to compare. So if pedophiles don't exist, why is there literally like why is pedophile a word, and why is there literally a definition for a pedophile if they just don't exist? Like what consent never existed, pedophiles never existed. This is all a big fucking mind fuck. You're crazy, dude. You're fucking crazy. You're a sicko. Number 12, exposing humanity to truth is a good thing. Whatever this truth is, back to number 11. Consent never existed. Pedophiles never existed. Oh yeah, that's totally why, it's not like, when kids, are fucking violated and molested by pedophiles, that those kids grow up later to be fucked up and need all sorts of therapy and mental help. And even with that, they still are fucked up from the experiences that they had. It takes them forever to get over shit like that, and even then they'll fucking have nightmares occasionally about it and everything. Always be reminded, always feel fucking dirty and used. You're talking to me about humanity, yet you have no fucking regard for humanity. You're okay with a fucking 40-year-old adult taking advantage of a 5-year-old little kid. You have no regard for humanity. You're a sick fuck. Number 13, life is not basic. Never said it was. Never said life was basic. Life isn't basic. I agree. Life isn't basic. Life is actually pretty fucking hard. It's pretty complex, although it is kind of basic when you look at it, when you really think about it. Number 14, people don't grow up, they exist only. Again, you're preaching to me so much about humanity, yet you don't think that people grow up or that they don't evolve or that they aren't like their own individual selves. They just exist. That's it. They're just slabs of meat that exist. Yet you keep mentioning humanity as if you care about humanity, which you don't. If you actually cared about humanity whatsoever, you wouldn't be in support of fucktards like Stetson Hardwick, who are pedophile supporters. Unless, of course, I'm suspecting that this person or that you yourself are Stetson Hardwick. I don't know, but yeah, whatever. There are no age groups. Age never existed. I'm not going to address that again. Number 16, and here's the patentant. Please get an education about how life really works and stop being a conservative. Again, I'm not a conservative. At least not on several things. Again, I've already went into that. Please get an education. Dude, you were literally the one telling me that there are more than two genders, that pedophiles never existed, that age doesn't exist. Talking about some universal truth and calling it, treating it as fact. And saying consent never existed either. Yet you're telling me to get an education. You're telling me to get an education. But yet you're saying all this insane, psychotic shit. I tell you what, I'll get an education, but you need to get on some meds or something. Like, you need to be medicated, you need to be strapped up, and put in a padded cell is what you need. You need to put in a straitjacket, put in a padded cell, and medicated. Because I think that you are probably a danger to others around you. Because you are psychotic. And then I made a reply to him, then he replied to me and said common sense never existed. The truth is universal, not subjective. Your truth is universal. Your truth, not everyone else's truth. Age never existed. Human beings can learn whatever they choose to learn. I am not a troll. I am a human being. Get an education. Okay. Okay. I'll get an education. Again, I'll get an education, but you have to check yourself into a mental institution and make sure that they throw you in a padded cell. Or you need to be forcefully thrown into a padded cell with a fucking straitjacket and put on all sorts of medication. So, yeah. Definitely one of the most psychotic comments I've ever got. One of the most craziest comments. Again, I know that ranting Doom guy and Damien Skyfire have apparently had interactions with this guy as well. So I don't know. Maybe if they see this video, they can inform me on this or whatever. But yeah, this is insane. I hope this person doesn't have a family or isn't married or doesn't have kids, because I mean I would fear for anyone who has to be around this person. And again, like I said in the beginning, whether this is Stetson Hardwick or this Areum Kaiya person, I don't know. I don't know if they're the same person, if this is just someone who supports Stetson Hardwick. I don't know, but either way, yeah. So. And like I said, there's videos on this channel, and they made a video about conservatives. It's just, like I said, it's a channel dedicated to shitting on conservatives, but you said that conservatives are the reason that AMOC was removed from YouTube. So you think it's just a conservative thing to be against pedophilia. People who are, it doesn't take someone being conservative to be against pedophilia. It just takes a regard. It takes a regard, respect, and decency. I mean, human decency to be against pedophilia. It takes not being a fucked up person to be against pedophilia. It doesn't matter whether you're conservative or liberal or libertarian or centrist or Democrat, Republican, whatever. It's not a conservative thing. It's a human being thing to be against pedophilia. You keep talking about human beings and humanity, but you were one of the furthest things from humanity. You are not a good or decent human being, especially with what you're saying right here. You are an insane, psychopathic asshole. So, I don't know. To wrap this up, I'm done with this video, but Stetson, Hardwick, or Areum, Ling, Kaiya, or whoever the fuck you are, I'll go get that education that you were talking about, and you can go get a prescription for Ritalin and check yourself into the nearest psych ward. So, yeah, I think that about does it for this one.